You can
Gala.
You can go ahead and look at your fleet comp window. Let's run over what teams are bringing. I am with the Sansha off the starboard bow team, returning victors from round 1, and they are fielding an Inyo, an Executor, a Maulus, and 2 Vexers.
Yeah, Burger Town have got a Jag, a Maulus, a Scythe, and a double Vexer.
So here we will see the pinnacle of shield versus armor. I really like this setup from Sansha. I'm not sure if it's what they used in the first match, but healthy amount of tank, good projection with their DPS and the drones, and hopefully maybe some ability out of the high slots. We've seen blasters on every Vexer today, and maybe they'll be the first to implement some newts.
Yeah, I mean the new Vectors are just so popular at the moment. Even out of tournament scene, like you see them a lot in faction warfare space. They're a nice, easy, low skill point doctrine. Obviously, newts. If you've got Tech 2 drones, you don't want to have to pile on other Tech 2 gun. If you're not necessarily a high skill point corp, you can just chuck newts in the high. They're really, really useful. They can turn off hardeners. They can screw up logies. They're just absolutely fantastic use.
Yeah, I think people forget the defensive options from newts as well. Like you said, you can turn off hardeners, you can turn off prop mods, so on a ship where you have limited mids and you want to fit in as much as possible, sometimes a newt will suffice instead of a scream or a web. If you can just cap out their frigates, they have no prop mods, they can't stay on you, mission accomplished. Of course, arena PvP is different. You're given a few luxuries that you're not afforded in normal EQ PvP, such as people not being able to leave, and there's the countdown, we're off.
And here we go, drones immediately going on to, it looks like the drones are going on to Mangler, obviously not. Looks like the Vector of Juz is taking some heat.
He is, but remember he's armor tank, so we have a shield Vexer comp against an armor Vexer comp. The shield Vexers are going to be putting out substantial DPS. The armor Vexers are nothing to laugh at, but they're
dropping down to half armor.
Yeah,
not really seeing that much damage come in onto the Burger Town team. Oh, the Maulus now going into armor, having said that. But trading a Maulus for a Vexer, not really what you want to do as the team with the Maulus. And the Maulus does... Oh, he's getting reps! No, and the Maulus goes down.
Down it goes. That Executor is doing a pretty good job of buying Juz time and the Vexer, but they need his DPS to stay alive, so they better mitigate damage quick, and it looks like that's exactly what they're doing by going after Joe in the Vexer on the Burger Town side, and he's low shields already.
Yep, Juz is just barely keeping into armor, and Joe goes down as well. That's 2 ships down for Team Burger Town, and they are only just barely getting the first Vexer into structure. Now, with that Vexer down, the reps from the exec are going to have a lot easier time holding on Juz. Is it possible that Burger Town aren't going to get a single kill in this match?
I think this is going to wipe. There's really no reason at this point that Sansha should lose any ships. You see the armor pulling back on Juz, thanks to the Vexer on the Burger Town team going down. Their damage is now significantly reduced. And it looks like they're splitting damage onto Burger Town now. They're going for the Jaguar of Moriar as their primary, and they've already got some shield damage into Mazin and the Vexer as well, so this is a pretty grim picture.
Yeah, we see a lot of drones out here moving around the battlefield, but none of them particularly on any targets. Kind of swirling around, switching between targets. I'm not sure if their FC's calling consistently or whether he's being clear in his options. That might have been one of the problems earlier when we saw a little bit of fire go over the other ships. Oh, and then Mazin suddenly breaking down through armor, and there he goes through the Galente structure as well, trying to rep from the side, but at this point it's just not going to happen.
Blasters, we do see blasters coming off of the armored Vexers. I haven't seen, quite frankly, the other Vexers were dead before I got a real good look at it, but I don't think there were any newts on field, so it looks like everybody is sticking with these full damage setups with guns in the high slots.
Yeah, at this point we're just kind of waiting for the match to end. The Maulus doing his best to get away from the enemy ship that got quite close to them. Looks like it's the Jag trying to desperately get them a kill, but actually being forced off by some warriors onto him.
Now they have the Inyo of Stasia already burning out to secure this kill to save us from wasting the next 3 minutes. Good guy, Stasia. And that's a really convincing victory coming out of Sansha. That's only the second clean sweep match we've seen today, and really well executed.
Yeah, I mean, The Burgertown team did have a good potential for DPS. I'd be interested to see how overheated the modules of the exec were, because the first Vexor did take a little bit of time to go down, so the exec probably was panting a little bit, because let's be honest, the rep output of an exec is not a huge amount if you still want to have some level of tank on it.
True, and you also have to wonder about the Vexors, how they're set up in the low slots. If they are fitting blasters, it's entirely possible that they're only using a Tech 2 800mm plate. They run a little bit low on power grid if you try to squeeze on a 1600, and you really can't fit medium blasters. So while they do have a respectable buffer,
and it's difficult.
Right.
WD. Yeah.
So I'd be willing to bet that they are 800 plate fit, but the benefit of a 5v5 tournament is that you don't get overwhelmed with DPS too quick, but some really nice piloting, really nice heat management by that exec pilot to save his friendly Vexor.
Yeah, the Jag is slowly breaking down with shields. He has done a good bit of damage to the Maulus, having not even hit armor yet. I'm betting the exec is already just pre-primed with reps on him. Yeah, in fact,
And you can see
he's already repping the Maulus in preparation.
And the Maulus is pulling range now, so no danger as Moriar goes down, and Sansha proves that they are the coolest.
Whitewash City.
So good to them. Maybe Burgertown was just a little rusty, and Sansha has already gotten warmed up this evening, although that was several hours ago. But good fights all around, and Sansha will advance into the winner's bracket. They will not compete again until tomorrow. So good work on them. Burgertown, because this is double elimination, will be bumped down into the losers bracket, and we can expect to see them, I think, in a match later today, but I'm too lazy to tab over and find out, so we'll just have to give it time. But I'm going to go ahead and jump back up into the main channel. We'll prep for the next match, which will be Gary Exchange versus Mike Check, both